Inside his hideout at the Evil Spirit Academy, Shadow got straight to business and asked Aristotle if she knew anything about the legendary Death-Winged Angel. The system warned that asking for this information cost 30 years of his lifespan. Shadow paid without hesitation, which let his guild's lifespan pool take a neat 50% cut from the deal. Aristotle explained that the Death-Winged Angel was split into two different categories, the native type and the sacrificial summon. She described the native type as a built-in, epic-grade bloodline boss. Only one existed per civilization, spawning only in complete darkness at depths below 9,900 meters. As for the sacrificial summon, it required sacrificing a special feather to summon a legendary tier boss that scaled to the summoner's level. Shadow quickly ignored this option because a legendary boss would easily vaporize him at his current level. Eager to find the native type instead, Shadow paid another 100 years of lifespan to locate it, sending a 50-year rebate back into his guild pool. However, Aristotle instantly claimed she had no idea. This made Shadow angrily demand an explanation for why she had taken his lifespan for a useless answer. Aristotle explained that native type spawns were completely random and she could not divine them. Shadow angrily pointed out the massive fee, but she reminded him that his actual cost was only 50 years after his rebate. She defended herself by saying that collecting lifespan was an unchangeable rule in her species' genes, but she offered to help by sharing the locations on Blue Star that met the spawn requirements. She named the three abysses deeper than 9,900 meters, the Abyss Sea, the City of Unjust Death, and the Blood Cave. This instantly caught Shadow's attention because of the City of Unjust Death. Sensing a golden opportunity, Shadow pulled out his map and key to the City of Unjust Death. He decided it was time to visit the Forbidden Ruins and teleported away while Aristotle wished him a safe journey. Arriving near the Jinling Wasteland, Shadow stood at the edge of a massive canyon. He realized he had reached the right coordinates and that the City of Unjust Death lay directly below him. Without a single moment of hesitation, he leapt over the edge and plunged straight down into the pitch-black abyss. Immediately, the system warned him that he had entered a deadly frenzy zone, where his lifespan was draining 100 million times faster than normal. Shadow quickly activated his mythic-grade skill, Depths of Darkness, which cut his lifespan decay by 90% as long as he remained in stealth. Yet, even with that huge reduction, the drain rate remained 10 million times faster than normal. This meant he would still lose a full year of his life every 3 seconds. Knowing he was in a race against time, Shadow spotted the glowing green towers of the floating fortress in the distance. He snapped his fingers to summon his skeletal dragon, Osiris, and ordered him to fly toward the floating city at maximum speed. Osiris took off into the air, flying them rapidly through the dark abyss toward the ominous floating ruins. Jumping from his dragon, Shadow used his City of Unjust Death key and successfully entered the Forbidden Fortress. Once inside, the system confirmed his lifespan drain had returned to normal, though his quick descent through the abyss still cost him 10 years of his life. Walking through the quiet streets of the ancient fortress, Shadow was surprised to find the place completely deserted and wondered if it was actually empty. Suddenly, a cloaked figure called out to him, laughing in excitement at the rare sight of a visitor. The system identified him as the mask merchant Genki. He immediately tried to sell his items, boasting that he carried some of the best treasures in the game. Recognizing him as a rare merchant NPC, Shadow directly asked to see what kind of items he had for sale. To show off his collection, Genki displayed a series of glowing, high-tier masks floating in the air. The system listed their impressive stats, showing everything from gold-grade disguise masks to a powerful diamond-grade Shadow Walker mask that boosted stealth, speed, and damage while hidden. The merchant even showed a legendary, epic-grade lifeless mask that cleared the wearer's accumulated kill value, costing a base price of 5,000 years of lifespan. Instantly focusing on the diamond-grade Shadow Walker mask, Shadow realized it was the perfect upgrade for his assassin build and confidently decided to buy it. Genki praised his great taste but shared a nasty catch, explaining that since the City of Unjust Death was closed for the day, the price had inflated from 3,500 to 10,000 years of lifespan. Shadow instantly saw through the scam, recognizing that the shady merchant was trying to exploit his interest in the mask to rob him. He realized that spending almost his entire lifespan pool on a mask normally worth far less was a terrible deal. He bluntly rejected the merchant's desperate discount offers and walked away. While the angry merchant hurled insults behind his back, Shadow ignored him and decided to search the area, figuring that an NPC's presence meant high-tier bosses had to be nearby. Meanwhile, in the ruins of Zhanghai City, the red-eyed leader suddenly appeared in the sky, declaring that all preparation was complete as he officially launched the operation to assassinate Shadow and decided to summon the terrifying death-winged angel into the world. At the same time, Little Black defeated a powerful monster and celebrated beating another platinum boss alongside Captain Anyu. Anyu sighed because daily life had become a bit too peaceful and boring lately. Little Black teased her right away and told her to just admit that she really missed Shadow. Anyu blushed and admitted she wanted to get closer to the legendary player, but Wang Meng silently judged her because he knew she just wanted Shadow to give her more high-level gear. Wang Meng pointed out that Shadow rarely visiting their ruins was actually a good sign because it meant the region had finally stabilized. However, their peaceful conversation was cut short when a massive explosion suddenly shook the entire city. They looked up in panic and saw a terrifying red energy storm bursting right over the respawn point in the city center. Suddenly, someone sent a voice message to Captain Anyu and warned her that something terrible was happening. Anyu was completely shocked when she heard that an epic grade boss had suddenly appeared right in the middle of the city. Crimson feathers rained from the sky and vaporized players instantly while the terrifying silhouette of a dark-winged angel descended through red lightning. The system alerted them that their worst nightmare had arrived, confirming that the level 35 epic boss, the Death-Winged Angel, had been summoned into the human world. Scared players respawned at the plaza and screamed in panic because they could not understand why an epic-grade boss would suddenly appear in Jianghai City. They did not even get a second to process the situation before the angel unleashed a massive slash of lightning and wiped them out instantly. Solo players realized they were trapped at the spawn point and screamed in fear, knowing they would be killed repeatedly until permanent death unless the guards saved them. Despair spread through the ruins as players realized escape was impossible and total destruction had come for Jianghai City. Anyu hid behind some crumbling debris and realized that the crazy destructive power of this monster definitely matched its epic rank. She knew only one person could stop this chaos, so a desperate Anyu decided to contact Shadow right away. Shadow was busy at his guild base when he was caught off guard by Anyu's report about the Death-Winged Angel suddenly appearing in the Jianghai City ruins. After hearing that the boss was on a rampage and would soon destroy the entire city, Shadow calmly activated his war teleportation to join the fight. While he teleported, Shadow found the situation very suspicious, because the angel was a deep abyss boss that should never naturally appear in a surface city. He knew that even though random bosses could spawn, they always scaled to the average level of local players, so a level 35 epic boss appearing here should have been impossible under normal game rules. The giant statue at the center of the plaza took heavy damage from a relentless barrage of massive slashes. Hiding away from the chaos, the red-eyed leader told Xiaoyu that it was time to prepare, and she obediently agreed to do so. Without wasting any time, she phased straight through a solid wall and stepped into a hidden portal. She entered a mysterious starlit chamber where she found ancient stone tablets hanging from bloody vines, happily confirming she had found the right place. This area was actually a legendary room hidden inside the statue's secret room, which was a double hidden space that regular players would not discover until much later in the game. Xiaoyu knew that the hanging stones were carved with the ancient language of the gods, and activating them in a specific order was the key to her plan. However, the serious moment was ruined when she clumsily tripped over her own feet and face-planted hard onto the cosmic floor. Gritting her teeth through tears of pain and embarrassment, she bitterly vowed to finish the sequence so she could release the powerful boss sealed inside the statue. She tried to recall her past life memories of how Qinfeng had originally activated the stones, desperately trying to remember the exact sequence. She noticed that these memories, which should have been faded and blurry, were suddenly appearing crystal clear in her mind. Feeling like the heavens were helping her, she decided to use this knowledge to kill Shadow and take back everything she believed belonged to her. As she reached out to activate the runes, she told herself that Qin Feng should not blame her, since he was the one who had wronged her first. In her past life, Qin Feng had spoiled her by carrying her through difficult levels, upgrading her gear, and comforting her whenever she felt down. However, in this timeline, he completely abandoned her to fend for herself, which she blamed for her current miserable life. She defended her love for Song Fei, and angrily declared that she did not need Qin Feng to get stronger, finally activating the last rune and causing the giant statue's eye to snap open with a glowing blue light.